Hey, Anime Lately podcast fans. Before we start, I want to let you guys know that we have a YouTube channel where we do anime, mangas, and movie reaction reviews. If you like to laugh and be entertained until you realize that you stayed up all night watching us and don't have much time for sleep, which at that point you might as well stay up now. But then you want to continue watching our videos from our YouTube channel. If you're an early bird person with a 9 to 5 job, hey, give your boy Rayapollo.tv a watch or lurk to his Twitch channel. This week, he is playing Pokemon Shield, the old school way, the gotta catch 'em all way, the who cares about the IV training, I just want to play Pokemon my way. He's wily entertaining and hilarious, which is a great combination to help you get through your work days. If you need more movie reviews, during your commute, listen to the Careful for Spoilers podcast network. They just put out a new episode review of Stephen King, Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. And right now in the works, review of 1917. Oops, spoilers, should have told you to be careful. You guys should check out the podcast on all in your local podcast network, iTunes, Spotify, CastBox, Podcast Addicts, and more. And now, back to our podcast. Welcome, Anime Lately podcast listeners and YouTube podcast watchers, to another episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me are my Brotakus. Introducing first, the Game Master. We call him Jon Snow, not because he knows nothing, but because he was resurrected from the dead. He is the director of anime, Mr. King of Games himself, and newly appointed the Magic the Gathering King, Rayapollo. Our next co-host is a demon in the Black Clover community. He has an unquenchable love for Trigon, Dr. Stone, and One Piece. The intellectual, sensational, immortal, mythical, legendary Vash, Miguel Raw. Our next co-host is a demon. Our demon passed. And finally, our last co-host, he is the CEO of the Gamble Sports Podcast Network. He is the founder of the No Anime No Life Facebook group. He has a great love for knowledge of movies. The great and talented JB James Bond.
One thing I gotta give to you, Sam. Props to you. You stood in character. You did not break. I gotta get props to you. Hold it in. You said, hey, I F up. I'm gonna continue until I end the Barnes part. I'm gonna go.
I got to. I didn't get to scroll down.
Hey, but man, I give props to you because most people will break. Most people, hey, I tried. Let's go. Let's get the show started. But man, you tried. I'm happy.
I gotta keep going. It would have been sounded better, but just kept going. Then to just stop, wait till I catch my breath, and then continue. But yeah, this is the Anime Lately podcast, guys. How you guys doing anyway?
After that, I'm great.
Oh yeah,
I'm fantastic. After that, let me tell you. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. I needed that. By the way, just for all of those who are listening / watching, I didn't actually die. In case you were wondering, because sometimes I was wondering, like, so I wonder if somebody actually thinks that, oh man, he might have actually died. No, I didn't. I have never died that I'm aware of. I don't know. So just to clarify
that we know of, we don't know if he's actually a ghost. You know, we had never actually met him in person, so we don't know if he's actually a ghost that we probably been talking to the living dead. We don't know. Possibly has happened.
I mean, fair enough. Stranger things have happened in anime, so yes.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Definitely.
But he has not died and gone to another world yet. So he's not in the CK world yet. So
I mean, how do you not know this is my CK?
How do you know that we're not in the CK?
Good point.
How do you know that we're not in the CK? Let's go into some type of 4-4 breaking right here. We don't know. We're just here.
Exactly. We don't know.
If we are in a CK, where is my status bar? I want to know my stats. I want my video game stats so I can increase.
Unfortunately, you have to go to a specific facility and talk to a specialist to learn your stats.
Oh, so Ray, you're talking about a Pokemon Center and where we have to upload our Pokedex. Makes sense.
No, I'm talking about a doctor.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah.
Those doctor tests and everything.
Oh my god. Yep. So there you go. It's just the world's most boring CK. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right, guys. Usually we start our weekly anime watchings, but first we have to get to the decade of Shonen Jump manga. It is ending this year, actually right now, this week. This is it's in another 10 years of the Shonen Jump manga magazine, and for it's in another decade for the WSJ. And no, it's not the Wall Street Journal. Weekly Shonen Jump is what we're talking about, and it's been a long time now, and has put out a lot of incredible series. To throw some names that everyone should know: Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone, and most recently Shonen that's getting an anime adaptation, Jujutsu Kaisen. Since the decade is over, we want to give you guys, our listeners, each of the Brotaku's top 5 Shonen Jump mangas, and strictly Shonen mangas. I'm not going through my manga library, so hell no. We will tell you guys these mangas are top 5, rather it impact us through our childhood, reading them, or because they are progressing well throughout the time since they came out like fine wine. And we are going to include ongoing mangas that went past 2010, and of course ended before 2019, or actually proceeding after 2019. So, guys, let's start our list. Top 5.
Usually I will go first, so I'm gonna take the lead here. And it's crazy to imagine Weekly Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump has been going on for 50 goddamn years, and I'm very proud of them because they have produced a lot of our childhood shows like Naruto. I will not say in order what's my 5. I'll just say my top 5. Naruto's for one of them because Naruto has impacted all of us. Just like when we're that definitely school, the flashbacks has definitely always hit you in the anime. Definitely the music has always hit us, and definitely can something relate. Something that we always want to the jump, the whole running with our hands out in the air in those high school or back in school hallways. But those were something that always impacted us. Was definitely the Naruto. I will also give out shout out to One Piece, the GOAT, the Goda, that has been reigning for 13 goddamn years. But we're gonna talk about that in the news. 13 goddamn years. I gotta say, wow. That's why One Piece. But it's not about sales always. It's always about One Piece being the best manga in the world. Obviously, that's the only reason. And definitely the one that has impacted me the most recently is one of the most recent manga that has came out in 2017 is Dr. Stone. Right now, it has its current anime adaptation in the fall and summer season in 2019, and My Hero and Black Clover a year apart from each other where they came out, but it definitely has impacted the manga industry. Sadly, Black Clover would have done better if it was picked up from a different goddamn studio. It was not Peria, it's trash. So My Hero definitely is a good series, still running. One of the best arcs that I have read is the villain arc from My Hero. I want to go in detail for people that have not fully read the series or is choosing to be an anime watcher, which I respect. And Black Clover finally did their time skip. The only 2 chapters in, not much to say about it other than time skip, that's all. But Black Clover, My Hero, Dr. Stone, and shout out to a Spy Family. It's Jump Plus, but it comes out with the weekly Shonen Jump Unveils every Sunday, so officially. So I'll definitely include that in with Spy Family as my honorable mention.
James?
Yeah, I'll go next. In no particular order. My top 5 just manga that I've just had a blast reading. Seraph of the End. I love Seraph of the End so much. It's pretty much Attack on Titan with vampires, just less interesting because Attack on Titan gets really, really intricate. But as far as like the basic story of what it is, it's like if you just think of it as like what Eren had to go through at the beginning, it's kind of the same thing. Spy Family. I've been having so much fun with Spy Family. I was surprised by it. I did not expect it to be that good. One Punch Man, it has some of the best art I've ever seen in a manga. I love reading it. I love Saitama. I love everything about One Punch Man. My Hero Academia, of course, it is just one of the best manga and anime series running right now. And Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super right now is just so much fun. It's just getting better and better and better. It hit a slight slump with the last chapter, but it's been steadily getting better and better, and I've just been having a blast. It's a great time to be a fan of anime and manga for sure.
Right?
Absolutely. So for me, I decided to keep, some ones that ended in this decade because, we've been reading for a long time. And I don't think I could actually talk about, ending the decade without talking about these manga because they were huge. These were massive things that ended.
Yeah.
I've been reading
Mhm.
since I was younger.
Yeah.
So in no particular order, I'm just gonna name them. So Bleach ended in this decade, and Bleach was one of the ones that I remember just reading. And when you were in school and you had time to read, that was what I was reading in my Shonen Jump. I had my Shonen Jump out, and I was reading Bleach because Bleach was amazing. The same goes for Naruto, which is also on the list. Those are interchangeable for number one sometimes. Like legitimately, some of the best stories I've read ever were Naruto and Bleach. They both ended in this decade, which is crazy to think about to me. Like they both ended. Like, those are two huge ones. Then of course Dragon Ball Super. It's I basically grew up with Dragon Ball, and to have it now as an adult in a different but the same sort of package is mind blowing, but also amazing to me if you really think about it. We've grown up with this series, and it's the same but better in so many different ways, and I love it. I'm so happy that it is what it is, and we still have it. My current actual favorite, My Hero Academia. Oh my god. I haven't been this enthralled with a manga and a story since I found Naruto for the first time, and it's that's kind of magical to me. I'm lucky that I can still experience stuff like this as an adult, which is really cool to me. And then something that kind of snuck up on me in the past 2 years really, and finally decided to give it the go because of a certain man bunned individual who I will not name. But One Piece, I have it's starting to happen, y'all. I'm starting to fall in love with One Piece. I told you I liked it, but that's like, no, I really like this. It's a fantastic manga. I love the story. It's just a lot of fun. The characters are wild and wacky. You know how I love wild stuff, and when it's wild and fun, I'm there for it. That's exactly what this is. Uh, so I'm still pretty far behind, but I'm excited to see what's coming up. So yeah. And then shout out to My Hero Vigilantes and Jujutsu Kaisen because I love those and they're fantastic. So yeah.
Okay, my turn. All the shonen mangas, so only shonen exclusive. So not no in particular order. Let's start with Naruto, of course, because the big three, because that impact not just all of us, but literally in the manga world, where the manga generation, every manga that is right now is because of them. Like where they are before now that's because of right now. Blue Exorcist. I actually really enjoyed the story. I'm really liking Blue Exorcist. Very interesting, very fun. So much good drama, good story into this. It's really good, well done. And that came out in like April of 2009. So it's still going right now, pretty strong. Even for a monthly manga, it's doing a very good job. Twin Star Exorcist, I'm very enjoying it. Literally the same creators of Black Clover, monthly release manga, and there are good chapters where like it gets me tearing. It got me tearing for these chapters, and that was really good story. It was really good. Trauma, sadness, trauma, action is very good. It's really good. Of course, My Hero Academia. Why else? It has that great popularity. Of course, can't forget about that. Nisekoi, the Romeo and Juliet story, it was really good. I feel like it ended a little too soon, but if it ended a good time, they knew when to end it. So I'm glad that it was a good story of good Romeo and Juliet, and it came together. Very good romance, love comedy, manga genre. If I were to throw any other other non-top 5 that really good series, Assassination Classroom was a really good series. It got me tearing. It's a great anime, great manga. Fantastic. Yuna and the Hot Springs. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's a harem ecchi kind of manga, and that's everything what you expect from a harem ecchi manga. And for third one, Promised Neverland. I only read the first arc, but I actually do enjoy what I'm reading in the first arc, so I gotta give that props.
It's on my list.
Yeah, Promised Neverland. The anime was good too. So
Anime is great.
Anime was great. So definitely something that I want to continue reading.
Agreed.
But only after I've like maybe finish the anime first, because the second season 2 should come out next year.
Yeah,
and I'm ready for that. So after watch season 2, I'll continue to the next arc. Okay, guys, let's move on to our weekly anime watchings and manga readings, but mostly for the animes. Brotakus, we're going to start with our always number 1, Dr. Stone, episode 21.
Ray, take it away, because I know that you're the most excited one to talk about it, so take it away, Ray.
Best episode we've gotten. Straight up. This episode's fantastic. I think mostly just me because it had the sentimental. I love Christmas. I'm a sucker for Christmas.
Aww.
And this hit me like real good. I was like, I love this episode. It was fantastic. And to see how far they've come, thinking about how far they've come since we start, where they are right now is insane. I still feel like we're barely breaking the surface, really. Like they just started to crack the surface. And it's thinking about their whole journey so far it's wild, and I love it. I think my favorite part, I mean, of course, when he turned on the lights on the tree, because he's like, oh, I guess it is Christmas. And I'm like, don't you lie, Senku. You knew it was Christmas. You did this on purpose. But when they went to go see the sunrise, and we've seen him struggle sometimes, but this was the first time where he was almost like, well, if we fail, we fail. We'll move on. But then the anime magic happens, and they go to see the sunset or the sunrise, and there is the material they need to make tungsten. Because I'm like, they need tungsten. I'm sitting there the whole time like, how the hell are you gonna make tungsten? You need tungsten to make the light bulbs more like structurally secure. And then of course they figure it out. I'm like, oh god, I love this show.
That was my favorite shot. It was a sunset. That was my favorite shot throughout the whole episode. It was that. Second, it was the Christmas lights. But the first shot, it's just something about it made it more magical. Something about the emotional aspect about Senku making the new year, the new, the New Year's resolution, stuff like that. Gen said himself, like, hey, let's go see the lights, let's go see the sunset. Gen was being more positive than Senku. It's because Senku gave up, like, I can't figure it out. And that's the first time we see him actually stuck, like he cannot figure it out. So to actually see Gen, the one that's trying to, cheer him up, and I like that because you see these two people from the old era, and Senko's the only one that can actually relate to him since they know about the stuff they're doing. So I like that so much of how the most comedy jokes was from Gin this episode, because he's so, okay, this conversation is too much IQ for me. Well, no, this too low IQ. What do you guys do? Cotton candy. That's too simple and stupid. So this episode was my favorite. I have to agree with Ray as well, because so enjoyable, and it felt so very simplistic, but felt so emotional aspect with the comedy, with the pacing was so well done.
The pacing was perfect. The pacing was, and there's so much that happened. They covered so much ground, and I felt like it was the perfect speed.
Agreed.
I thought.
For sure.
One of my favorite lines happened. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Sorry, go ahead.
I definitely agree, because literally this entire episode, this is like all these gadgets are coming together. Like everything that's been made that they had before, it's now a lot more. First, the generators are a hydroelectric generator has been made. Now let's make batteries. With these batteries, we can now make a more stable machine. Well, technically powered for the cotton candy machine, or the light bulbs, the power to have the power, and then continue making gold for cables and wires. Also, they also made the giant piston generator to make a hotter furnace, which is very needed. But hey, wait, you guys, even though it's winter and you don't have to work as hard anymore to help start this factory, you still need to prepare for winter. While everything with new technology and everything, while they're still going on for communications, they are still preparing for winter. And that's really impressive because the whole hunting, gathering, try to grow as much crops as you can before the snow comes in and the cold weather comes out. They're doing a very good job. And then after Christmas ended, they have the New Year's plan, the sunrise, the tungsten, and they actually had it right. Like even if it's like anime trope, oh wow, they found that they solved their issues with anime trope. Technically, that's how tungsten is kind of found in like caves and rocks. You really need
Yeah.
to hunt deep inside a cave just to be able to find it. So I find it the most logical way to resolve this issue to find.
I mean,
Yeah.
he said, well, because remember when Chrome was like, "I'll go get you whatever you need." He was like, "We have everything we need right here," and technically they did. So it's like they just need more of it. That was how they were going to solve their problem. Well, I told you one of my favorite lines was literally the old man. Where he was like, I lived an easy life for like 60 years, and it's been hard since you've been here, but it's been more fun. And I'm like, oh my god, they have more purpose, and it's wonderful. I love it. Like they're living. You know what I'm saying? So this was a good episode.
Yeah, I love this episode. I just love seeing the science, watching them making the batteries, watching them craft bulbs and explaining everything. It's like, it's just genius writing. It's so easily explained. The pacing is great. While they're doing this, they're getting ready for the winter. They're preserving food for the winter.
Jerky.
Like, I'm not a big Christmas guy. I'm a Grinch. I don't give a shit about Christmas except that I get days off. I don't give a shit about Christmas. But just watching the tree light up in this stone world, that was beautiful. The symbolism of it, I thought that was amazing. Seeing the look on everyone else's faces experiencing light for the first time, and then having a moment of struggle for Senku, I think that's important. You know what I mean? He's always able to figure out everything in the moment, and then he hits this low point, and then he finds it. He gets the tungsten, and he's able to move on. I love that scene, watching that gemstone glow in the sunrise. It's beautiful, and I can't wait for the next episode, watching him, Chrome, Magma going into the cave. I can't.
I'm really excited to see how that dynamic works.
I agree. That's the same thing. That's the same thing I told Sam when we first started. Like, that's a weird ass combo. Senku, Chrome, and Magma. Like, I get Magma to be useful with the strength, but
Yeah, you need muscle.
like, but like Magma, though, I'm like, that's a weird dynamic. Like, I hope Magma don't try to do anything stupid and try to kill the king of the village right now. So like he don't.
He won't.
He won't.
I
But
don't think you.
but it was pretty interesting. But my favorite cinematography style of the way they use the character choice of having like a video game. It felt like Jump Force, trying to choose your character of who to choose. Should we use
Yeah, that was
Shuka?
fun.
Should we choose Kohaku? Wait, no. Twist. Let's choose Magma. He was in.
Quick
he was-
question. So when we see those fun cutscenes like that, what do you guys think is actually going on? Like, what do you think? What do you
I think that's
going on?
happening inside Senku's mind. 'cause
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like
Okay, good.
inside, like how he
Mhm.
sees, how should I choose this?
That's
Who-
so
how-
when we see
how-
those fun cutscenes, it's literally his. That's what he's thinking. That's his imagination, his brain, and I
Yeah.
love that. It's crazy.
Because there's no way any other character that's inside his brain except Gen, but he's not too smart enough of how to make these gadgets. But this is how Senku thinks. This is how Senku makes his technology. And what's the best course of action, and who's the best person to help? And he saw that it was Magma.
It is, and I also highly suggest if you like the way Senku thinks and imagines stuff, you should read the side story on Shonen Jump of his father, because his father thinks like that too, and it's pretty interesting when I saw chapter 4, which I'll talk about more later, that he actually thought about it the same way as Senku. I'm like, these people are not blood related, but they think hella the same. Like the way they think is so much similar, like each other, and they didn't have too much time with each other. They had almost 10 years on it, but after that, they have 3,700 years apart of each other. So it's crazy that how much of alike they think, and it's so cool.
Do you guys have a favorite character on the show right now?
Senku, still, he's my son. Just like how Ray sees his son Deku, I see my son Senku. So like,
I have two sons. My sons are Deku and Tanjiro.
Okay.
I have two sons.
I have my son right now, Senku, and I had another one. I forgot who else.
Wow, some dad.
Yeah, right.
I just be forgetting my kids out here. I'll be like, wait, I have too many kids. I slept.
Sam, what about you?
I don't think I have a kid yet. Like I'm enjoying their progress. I'm enjoying their story yet, but I don't know if I want to claim them yet.
So my favorite character is probably the little girl, the little detective girl. Yes, she's adorable and very useful. I love that she's useful. She actually tries to help, and it's fantastic.
She is.
So she's my second favorite. Chrome is my absolute favorite. I think
he's a great character.
He's so intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Could you
imagine if he was around in the world before the petrification? He would be a genius. The things he's able to figure out with nothing, literally nothing. He's so fascinating to me. I love Chrome.
I love that character. He's a really good, like, I don't want to say foil, but like weird in a rival sort of way character to Senku, which is awesome. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, keeps him on his toes.
It really does. I mean, it's just, but I also like how like Senku admires what he does. It's really cool. Like when they built this hydroelectric generator, Senku was like floored. You know,
he built it from nothing. Everything that Senku has built, he's learned from books, he's learned from school, he's learned it from everywhere.
And I mean, he learned
nothing.
He learned a little bit from what he's seen Senku do and talk about, but still, he took that and he ran with it, and it was awesome to see.
And the way Senku felt, he was a proud mentor. Like he felt like, yo, you did with no knowledge at all. I'm proud of you because that's something that he should be proud of because he didn't ask him no question or nothing. And then after that, 10 minutes later, full upgrade. I'm like, okay, cool. That's teamwork. One, do it, and then you make it better. And that's teamwork. I was truly proud of that. And I agree with Ray. Shuka is adorable. But the most adorable ecchi scene I like in this episode was when Kohaku and Rui was doing the wine scene. I was like, yes. Thank you, ladies. You did a beautiful job there.
Of course you did. Yes.
How else are you gonna get wine? You need to step on grapes.
So how about next time step on me?
That's your fetish.
Bruh.
But I know Ray has something to talk about Fire Force because I know he did not like about that opening ecchi shot when how the hell did this girl jump on?
I didn't even care. At this point, I'm immune. I just was like, whatever. The episode didn't even actually start until that was over. But yeah, are we transitioning into Fire Force?
Let's go.
Yeah, because it's lit that way. So let's move on to Fire Force episode 18.
I enjoyed this episode. I got some more of my Hime Hibana, so it's all good. But no, this episode was actually legitimate.
Episode reminds so much of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The way Benimaru was teaching Arthur and Shinra firebending, it reminded me so much of how, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but it reminded me of Iroh or the dragons that taught Zuko and Aang about fire. It reminded me of how Benimaru was teaching these two. Like, there's so much more to do of fire. Like, it's type of martial arts, the way you could do. Arthur, teaching him about his sword, the way to do it instead, the stance, and the way Shinra, which I feel bad for his feet because our feet to do it like that is very awkward. And I was
surprised that he didn't get cramps.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to be like, foot cramp.
Yeah, like you literally was doing like that. Like, yo, Shinra, don't I feel awkward to have your feet positioned like that? Because our feet not supposed to be like that. But the way he learned and observed Benimaru with the whole martial arts was so fascinating, and it reminded me so much of Avatar. I don't know if you guys would agree to that. Would you?
I mean, sort of, kind of. I mean, I in the style.
Yeah,
ish.
okay.
Yeah, I get that, which it was cool, but for them to go to Benimaru, I was like, okay, I like this character. First of all, this character's great. He's a badass and he knows what he's doing. But it was when he literally taught Shinra one thing, and Shinra was like, "Oh, okay, like this makes sense." And I was like, "There you go. You've got all the capability to be great. You just have to learn. You literally don't know how to use your powers, which is ridiculous to me." I was like, you've just been using them, but you don't know how to use them. And I was like, oh my God.
He has become so fast. And if you think he's fast now,
so
he becomes Sun.
intro spoilers once again. I was watching the intro tonight, and I go, "Wait a minute," because you see how fast he's moving and how it's animated in an intro, and it's way faster than Shinra. It's very different in the intro, but by the time they're done with the intro, he's moving at the very similar speed with the same type of animation in the intro. So I'm like, oh, it was been right in front of us this entire time.
Just with no feathers, just less feathers.
But then you also see the feathers. You also see those behind Shinra in the intro.
Show.
No, you see them behind. You see them behind Shinra also in the intro. And I was like, "You sneaky bastards!"
That's why I don't like to analyze intros nowadays.
The whole nervous system deal, also just right there played. I'm like,
that is placed in the outro. That's literally placed in the outro, showing the whole nervous system of the chakra. I'm like, yo, that's chakra from Naruto, but they're learning it very well. It's all.
I mean, from anything, it's
right, of course,
the energy from within and how it flows. Like it doesn't matter what you call it; it's all the same shit.
But I love the thing. That's the secret of Pyromancer. You know, it's all connected. It's a key. They have to know how to control it, what to use. I'm just like, oof. So yeah. Remember how y'all said Mach 5? Yeah, Shinra can do that now.
Yeah.
He can actually do that now.
When he went up the air, like all the way, he reminds me of so much of Human Torch. The way he goes up in the air like that, he reminds me so much of Human Torch. Like just goes flying up. I'm like, okay, dude, just go.
I mean, Johnny wishes he was that fast.
I was just about to say, if Johnny Storm could do half of what Shinra could do, he would be dangerous.
Yeah,
he's nowhere near as dangerous.
I mean, Johnny can get hotter, but
yes, he can get way hot.
Speed is next level.
I think speed will win every time, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just Johnny can hit what he can reach the temperature of the sun. You know, which is insane, by the way.
And hotter too, yeah.
Yeah. But as fast as Shinra can go, and he can get faster than this, is nuts. So I love it. This was a fun episode. It's nice to see them all putting it together because I want us to talk about real quick Joker and this weird scientist boy. Why were they just acting like that was just cool? Like he was just there with Joker, and I'm like, what?
Because it is cool.
I'm like, okay, so you're just there to like mess with Joker, and Joker's just cool with that's weird.
I mean, they both technically work associated with each other somehow, one way or another, though, because they were in the past. Because remember, like the doctor somehow knows about the ashes, and Joker had the ashes.
Remember back in episode 3 or 4 when they had to go inside the guy's house and
yes,
the scientist and Joker are the same people that were back in episode 3 and 4.
That's true.
That's true. Scientists.
They were talking to each other at the time.
So, but it makes it curious to know that Joker sees something in Shinra as a hero or something to save the world in the future. And the scientist is starting to believe it now, and he was willing to help it. But the thing I find the most funny is he just came out of nowhere. And just entered the scene like, hey, I came here to help you guys. So this is what you do, Shinra. And why you do this, I'm going to just sit down here and just watch you. Nobody asked questions like, hey, why are you here? They just came here, sit down.
No, what's his name did? Benihara's friend did. He absolutely asked him. He was like, why are you here? And if you are here to hurt them at all, I'll kill you, essentially.
That's true.
So yeah, he was the first person to question it. So, but he's technically trying to make Shinra stronger. Oh, yeah. Which when Joker asked him, hey, can you make 5 feet stronger? I was like, wait, what you mean? So I'm like, are they gonna give him a power up in addition to what he's learned? Because I'm like, that would be nuts. But I don't know. It's just those characters they're still very gray to me, and I need to see a little bit more to try and start figuring that out. But we'll see.
Gray is the right word. They're like gray Jedi in Star Wars.
Okay,
that's not really a spoiler at this point. I think you've seen enough.
Honestly, we've seen enough where they're not like bad or necessarily super good, but if they're not bad, I guess they are good. I don't know.
They're gray.
Exactly.
I agree.
There you go.
And the guy I felt bad for the whole episode is the guy from Company 1. He had to stay on the floor because don't joke around Hibana like that, because Hibana will be like, yeah, you cannot stand the same level as me, so sit your ass on the floor.
If I could sit anywhere near her, I wouldn't be mad. I still don't.
I agree. That's that bad for me. Like, hey, I was just joking. Like, well, too bad. Don't joke around with me like that. Like, damn.
And that's why I love her. She's like, yeah. I mean.
I also gotta give props to Vulcan because he making new technologies for Firehouse 8, and then he just made two giant guns for Maki. You're like, oh no! Those fires are not for fun. These are actually gonna be for my experiment. Look, and then it goes in. You have two giant floating guns.
I was like, how did you just? He just like superpowered Maki like instantly. I'm like, she's already.
Man, you a genius. You a genius.
And he said that he was just playing around with things. I'm like, so what do you do when you're actually serious? Though, because if this is playing around, what do you do when you're undertaking your serious time? Then, because this is
so my favorite part of that was the new fire extinguisher bomb thing
the magnetic extinguisher. Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
It's genius, yeah.
And
I loved it.
I love what Obi said because Obi said, "Hey, this works base for me." I'm like, wait a minute. This is actually true. Obi, Vulcan, best combo. That's gonna be some nice combination that they're gonna do with inventions, techniques, things that can help Obi take out people like Sho or like a commander from the group. That's something that Obi can do with his skills. It's possible.
Yes, it's like it's Bruce Wayne to Lucius Fox is what it is right now.
Yeah.
So, that is very true.
I love it.
Since Vulcan joins the team, I'm kind of hoping that they upgrade the base at least, like have a whole house of security kind of thing
That's
going
happening
on.
slowly, Sam. That's definitely happening.
So along the lines of upgrading the base, James, just wink if it's true. Does the base turn into a giant robot?
No. No. That would be really cool though.
I need some mecha in this. I need some more mecha in this. It will be amazing. A giant Fire Force fighting robot. That's all I want.
If it was,
what about the truck? What about the fire truck? Can we at least expect an Optimus Prime?
That'd be lit. That'd be lit. I would love it.
But definitely, if it was produced by Trigger, definitely somewhere or another, Trigger would have found a way to add some type of mecha to it. Definitely, they would have found a way. You know what, guys? It's not in the manga, but let's add a mecha robot in the car. They say, "Yo, let's go for it."
Let's let it transform.
Let it transform and have some.
It's powered by Shinra's Adala Flames.
That would be sick.
That would be sick. It would be the same way with the Amaterasu kind of factory of the power. Hey, technically Shinra's.
Obi does kind of look like the guy who piloted Big O, so I mean, who knows?
that is a fact. That's very true.
He kind of does actually. Dude, my favorite scene is when the scientist is telling Benimaru what to do.
Yes.
And he creates like the jet propulsion and it blows him back.
Wasn't that
he
nuts?
Stops himself. I'm like, oh god, this is so. It looked way better than the manga. That was
beautiful.
Way better.
James,
it was so pretty.
Because it's so true. Like how if the scientist is gonna make Benimaru stronger, because he was already like OPSL with 2 type of power levels with the second generation, third generation, and now you're teaching him something extra. Now he's gonna become OP as hell, more stronger.
I mean, I think it's necessary when you're gonna be fighting against the Evangelists right now, like with Sho and everything.
We've just seen how strong Sho is. I can't imagine how strong his captains are, like legitimately. Yeah, we need those people that are that strong. That's why we're getting these power up scenes now because they need to get stronger.
And I love how the captain of Company 3 they use a fake double.
They use a body double. I was like, y'all ain't shit.
They said, hey, this is the best one we could use as a fake double last minute. Here we go. I'm like,
it worked.
That's true.
It did. They even fooled the public.
Or maybe they just, or they may pay the media. We don't know. Like they just, oh yeah, the media, it's really hitting for now. That's all we witnessed.
Fake news.
Oh god,
it's not gonna work.
But no, this episode was also great. I enjoyed this episode. It was like, I love the combination of Fire Force and Dr. Stone. They are like almost perfect together. I'm really happy that they came out at about the same time. Like it makes me very happy.
Agree.
Yeah, for sure. Because everybody's been training to be the next hero, to be able to fight the villains of Evangelist. Yeah. But speaking of heroes, let's go into My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 6.
This episode
So-
was actually good. I like it, even though some people, IGN pissed me off when I saw their tweet about it that this episode was very lackluster because there was nothing going on. I'm like, really, IGN? That's how y'all gonna go with this?
So when you actually get story, you're like, nothing's happening. There's so much story happening right now.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
like,
not paying attention.
you're getting the story. It's the setup for the infiltration.
And I'm like, because once we're past this, which we are now, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
it's just going to go, and I don't think they realize that. I'm like, you needed a moment to breathe. Because like it's like, okay, let's collect all the information we have and give it to you, because most of you don't read the manga, so here you go.
But
You
I
know?
think-
for people that
this
didn't
played out
start
better than
watching this
manga, too.
season, sorry, go ahead, James.
No, I was just saying. I think the anime played out better than the manga.
yeah.
That scene absolutely, like
It did.
I felt the emotion way more.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, so at first, like when you read the manga, Rocklock, I really didn't get, it didn't come through how opposed to most of it he was that it did in the anime. He really
Agree.
did not want the kids there, and like I understood his reasoning as to why. But
Yeah,
like,
in the manga, he comes off as a huge dick. But
He did,
in
exactly.
the anime, it's like you get why he is that way.
Mhm,
Maybe the
mhm.
kids shouldn't be here because of the
Mhm.
subject matter.
exactly, and that's why I really do agree. Yeah,
By the way-
it was better.
Did you guys hear the dub version? Because the dub version of Rocklock was very good too.
The only reason why
I
I watched this
refuse.
episode, no, Rocklock sounds great. I watched it to hear his voice, and he sounds fantastic.
Yeah, he sounds fantastic for dub version. It was really fantastic. Which really
So it's the same guy who did Dragon Ball Super God of Destruction for Universe 11, I believe. Is that Jiren's universe? Are they 11?
the clown guy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, the clown guy.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's the same guy who did the voice for that, but he did this voice way better.
Yeah, he did
Okay.
good.
I
Uh,
haven't
way better.
heard the dub for Super yet. So
So it was actually I watched this episode dubbed just to hear his voice, and I was like, that's what he sounds like. That's a black guy, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, he was voiced by a black guy and everything. Many outlets were talking about it that day. It was really big news about it. I'm like, but the episode was good too, and nobody was talking about it. Like
the episode's fantastic.
and-
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why people are like, oh, well, nothing. No, everything happened in this episode.
I feel like
Most people don't understand that this is an episode where Miro and Deku understand that they F up without realizing that they F up, and something that they felt the drasticness.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I disagree with that. They did not F up. They
Not saying that they F up, it's that something that they let go of a girl that they could have saved, where Deku realized something that he could have prevailed, but Miro felt like that he made the wrong move from not letting Deku. So they both are conflicting within each other, but they felt like they did the best decision they could. But that's why Eraserhead did what he did. Like, you guys are doing what you can, but I will come here and back you up. And that's where they have the encouragement to say, okay, we will go save them. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I hear you, but I completely disagree. I mean,
I'm with James on this.
if Deku took Eri, Chisaki would have killed him.
They would have
they
died.
He would have
They-
killed him
They
on the
both
spot.
would have died. Yep.
They did the right
and
thing. It feels
he himself, if he himself did not kill them, he would have had his other assassins that's literally behind shadows and everything.
No, he
going
would have
after
killed them.
them.
No,
He would have killed the both of them.
Regardless, regardless,
It feels terrible that they had to let her go, but it was
Mhm.
the right decision. 100%.
For the time, exactly. For the time being, like they have to consider everything. The people who were in the area themselves, Eri, the damage to the area that they were in. Like that could have been a huge mess that they were
Yeah,
not prepared
they
for.
don't know the real state of the
Exactly.
Yakuza right now.
They-
It
they
would
were
be,
not
it would be
prepared.
foolish. Yeah.
Mhm. And then this operation wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have been able to get all of them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, like this had to happen. So it's just, yes, it sucked for them because they were like, well, maybe I should have done something. It's like it's that feeling of, maybe I made a mistake, but I can make up for that mistake later on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they know that they think that they made a mistake because they weren't able to be the heroes that they want to
Yeah,
be.
because it just feels shitty
Mhm,
leaving a little
mhm,
kid that was
mhm.
begging for help.
Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, I love this episode. This episode was good. It was a very good character episode.
The only thing that creeped me out in this episode was the insect centipede that was talking. Dub and sub. I heard the dub too, and no. I just nope. Ray, I want to hear your thoughts because you and me both have something against insects and creatures that are.
Wasn't that character like created by a concept from like a fan or something?
So that's I think they both were. Yes, Bubble Girl and Centipede.
Yes,
I think his
both.
name. They were both fan submitted
Correct.
characters. Yep. And
How did you
I don't
feel
have
about
nothing
Centipede?
against. I don't have nothing against centipedes and spiders that I can't stand.
But
He
the
Centipede.
voice of Centipede and sub and dub I just couldn't hear it.
It worked out. He's goofy. He's a goofy enough character that it worked. Because I mean the principal's a hamster. So
you got a point there. But speaking about Bubble Girl, I never noticed that her whole underboob.
It's a lot of underboob.
There's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Underboob in this episode.
It is always present.
I did not notice that until this episode. Not even the manga. I noticed that in this episode the most.
I notice it all the time.
I was like, Sam, there's a lot of underboob in this episode. Did I not notice that?
Jeez, really? I didn't notice.
He's like, Miko, you didn't notice that? Like, yep, I just did. He's like, wow, you're late. But Sam,
you're late.
Would you want to tell the audience how you felt about this episode?
I thought it was okay, but I felt like the story was kind of dragging in a way. Because if you haven't watched the first 5 episodes before this episode of not knowing what's been going on literally from the side, and literally you could just watch this episode of how everybody's story came together into this one, of how before the whole infiltration into Shizaki's multiple Yakuza bases, I felt this episode was a little slow because in a way it is recap of everybody's story and their perspective. Everybody's getting all their informations together so that they group up, and what you found out the whole story was from all the informations together with the bullets, how it's being created, how Eri was involved, where they were all at. It felt like if you haven't watched the previous episodes, like if you literally missed 1 or 2 of the episode and you just watched this one,
then why are you watching it then?
That's what I want to know.
It would recap you of what's been going on.
Because you've missed most of the best parts if you're just watching this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
I felt
episode...
like it was dragging a little bit on its story.
I don't think so. I feel like it was putting everything in perspective. Is what this episode was. This was a perspective episode.
It got the emotions correctly with Deku and Mario, like because they felt like, oh my god, I think I made the wrong choice. I might have failed, but no, like they made the right choice. It's just, of course, you're gonna have these feelings, and it's right. They had even the music correctly. They had the tension correct, and that's how you can feel for them. But the whole entire meeting that they had literally was like a little bit more than half of the episode. And then
because you need it after this moment. There's no more exposition.
There's no. It's just
what the bullets does, where they come from, who the villain is, what you're up against.
But you kind of had a clue from the previous episodes. But
you had a
clue, but you don't know. You have to think about all audiences. Just because or you have an inkling doesn't mean that other people don't.
What I think you're missing in this is more world building. It's not just character building. They're building more upon the world. We got to see more heroes that we don't normally ever get to see that are brought in because of what they are doing there. They all have a purpose, and they want to show you that, and they want to show you that they all have convictions and different feelings about what's about to happen. Because they all know this is about to be a big deal, and they know that once we start this, we can't go back. And so I love that they showed
to let the audience breathe, because the last episode was action packed. The audience has to breathe. This was that breathing episode, and then it just goes batshit crazy.
So I want to talk to you after this episode, and we watch the next episode. If we went from Red Riot straight into the next episode, it would be nuts. It wouldn't make sense. True. If you leave this episode out, there's a gap, and it's a big gap. If you leave this episode out, because you don't get to see the conviction from Mirio and Deku again. You don't get to see the hesitation from Night Eye. You don't get to see the different, the fiery passion that Fat Gum has, because you don't get to see that from him initially. You don't see how far he's ready to go to get this girl. You don't get to see that until later on when he's fighting. So to see it right now, to see all these characters and how they feel about this I feel fantastic. It's a really good way to set it up going forward, because then you know what they're fighting for and why they're there.
I mean, it gave the perspective of Night Eye with his trauma of, no, I cannot see into the future of every other heroes or anybody at all, because usually death. If I see your death, it's gonna happen. Like no matter what I could change into fate, it's bound to happen in that sort of way. But we have no idea about that. Always he just refused to look at anybody's future because the last time he did that was to All Might, and he failed to change that future, and he ended up like this. And All Might end up with the damage in his lung, and he can't. He's much weaker. He needs to find a replacement and all that stuff. He felt like he failed All Might himself, and that's what we learned from this episode. But at the same time, I felt like it could have progressed a little bit faster in a way, because literally in the next episode, it's literally their 3 day break to have all the plan together to literally to see everything, all the bases of where Chisaki can really be and where Eri can be, just so that, all right, once we find the right location, we'll go straight for the infiltration of it. I feel like it wasn't like, I still feel it was dragged. It was a little bit slow into the same way, because literally the highlight of this episode, what really was it? Was it for Rocklock and his voicing?
It wasn't.
In a way?
That's the thing. It's not for any one character.
Right. It's for the situation.
For the entire universe.
Exactly.
Of My Hero Academia.
It's for the situation that they're going into. Yeah, it's not one person. It's not focused on just one character.
It's at all. It's not supposed to be about any one person. This is the Hero Association as we know it that's going into this mission.
And this is what Koshi is good at.
Fine.
He's really good at this.
I'm good with like, all right, so these are the team that's be going to the infiltration, and that's going to be working, and who's going to do what and what's going to go where. That way, when the real good dark shit that's going to be coming up, we have a good idea of who this character is and what's been going on in that sort of way. But even some of them don't get fully highlighted. Like Bubble Girl doesn't get full highlighted. The Centipede character doesn't really get.
Why? It's not about them.
I know it's not. And that's the
They're
thing. It's just that they're just there to explain the background of the story. Like, all right, here's what's going on. Here's the story. We're gonna be moving on, progress. And this is all from Night Eye's industry. But in a way, like I felt it wasn't too necessary to literally to go on full on explain a diagram. I just felt it was a little dragged into.
Because Sam, we know stuff that the characters do not know.
Yeah,
it wouldn't make sense for it to just go along and pretend like they know.
You have to look at it from that perspective. They don't
know. This is why we keep saying this is the world building. The characters don't know everything that we know.
I'm not trying to say it's not great to have the world building. It's just that there's so much dialogue that was in there. Some of it was, I feel it wasn't too necessary. But in the same way, just to give each character of their personality perspective, like how Fat Gum is like a dad. Like I want these kids there. They need to learn. They need to be treated. It's just they need to learn these real life experience, which I get it. It's okay. That's the reason why he would defend the kids to be joining these hero association. Where it comes to Rocklock, he's a family man. He doesn't want these kids to join the same life and death situation that they'd be going into this mission in that sort of way. Which compared to the manga, he did act like a dick. Nobody really fully knew about his story and what's been going on. His attitude was really bad. But in the anime, he was just trying to, in his perspective, I don't want the kids involved because this is get very dangerous in the same time. It's just a matter of perspective and character wise in a way. Because if it's going to be a character that you're not going to be seeing after this arc, I don't know if it's like fully like important to me. Like in a way, it's like
I hear you, but it's just like the character moments are only in this episode to serve the greater story. Again, it has nothing to do with each person individually. You're not supposed to necessarily care about each thing that they're saying. Everything that each character says in this episode serves a greater purpose for this entire arc and what's to come. So I hear what you're saying. Like you're entitled to your opinion about the pacing. I just felt like this was one of the most important episodes so far going into what's coming next.
I mean, like I said, I was trying to understand like what you actually did like, and from all I can tell is that it wasn't the last episode is all I can hear, to be completely honest with you. And I'm like, that's fine. I mean, you can like what you like about this. That's perfectly fine. I just think that this episode, I love that he can take the time. He knows how to ramp it up and slow it down when it needs to be done. And he does it really well.
All right.
So,
all right. So guys, next we would want to do Vinland Saga, but unfortunately, me and Miguel hasn't watched the new episode yet, so we can't really do the Vinland Saga episode 19. But we will do it episode 19 and 20 for the next podcast episode.
Yes,
So
we will.
stay tuned for that. So while we're at it, let's go straight to our quick recap of what else we've been watching and what else we've been reading.
Well, since I usually go first, I'm gonna say that I haven't brought up this anime in a while. I brought up about 44 episodes ago. I've been watching and catching up to Assassin's Pride, and actually, I remember when me and Sam brought it up about the beginning of October in the beginning of the fall season, and when we did our first law, and it wasn't good first episode, but I stick through it because I was still curious. I like the color animation. This studio that made the first Assassin's Pride is a new studio, so they're still getting their ground up, making sure what they know they're doing. So I had to understand where they're coming from, and then watching the second episode, improvement. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, so much better. It's the color, the animation, the style, so much more cleaner. And yes, the main MC character reminds me so much of Kirito, except this one is not a dual wielding guy. But this character, you will see by the third episode, he's not a human. He's a hybrid of something, and he's a pretty interesting character. And he fights within his morality if he should do the mission or if he should choose what he wants to do with his life. The best way I could compare it is Itachi. If he should do what the Hokage did, take out his clan, or protect his people. So it was something like that. So this Assassin's Pride is actually much better than I thought it would be. I was very negative in the beginning, but it actually grew on me. So it reminds me of how hopefully one day Ray watches Cheat Magician. Ray's is James' favorite anime of the summer season. So definitely it is Assassin's Pride is actually getting up there for me. Not the top 10, not even close, but it's something where I actually have to give better credit to it. So that's Assassin's Pride. That's the only one I would bring up for anime. Manga, I would definitely say that Tokyo Shinobi Squad. We'll talk about it in the news, but it's sad that it's ending. But I cut up to a series, but it's sad that it's not going to continue. So, but we'll talk about that more in the news when we bring it up. I cut up to Shy. Definitely recommend to anybody who wants to read Shy. Is, for example, I will bring it up again. That is a world of heroes. Each country has one hero to represent them, and we are very, very focused on the world of Japan, obviously. And is a hero, it's a girl, her name is Shy, and her powers is very interesting. Highly recommend it. It is like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or like DC, where DC and Marvel has their own heroes from each different country. But this time it represents each country and their own have like a staff meeting or something like that. So it's pretty cool. Highly recommend it. And if you guys want to continue reading Dr. Stone, the reboot side story of the Byakuya, definitely recommend it. It really dives in more of the between of the start of the 3,700 years when the whole world got turned into stone. Really recommend it. It's really entertaining. That's about it. In Spy Family, last chapter came out 2 weeks ago, but new chapter's coming up this weekend. But other than that, highly recommend it. That's about it.
Yeah, I've been watching High School Prodigies. I still
Okay.
love it. This episode had a little bit too much ecchi in it that I didn't really care for, honestly.
Oh, guess it's time to start watching High School Prodigies again.
Wait, did James episode? Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I can't remember. But the girl that's the swordsman, the master swordsman.
Oh,
I feel
Yeah,
like
when she
it was
wets
so
herself,
I felt like that was so anime, though. Like,
Yeah,
oh, let me
it's
ride the
so
rocket. Like,
How?
It-
How did
it was-
she
it
ride
was
a
just-
whole? How did her legs keep up with a rocket that was going maybe 100 miles an hour?
it's
Anime.
A rocket goes Mach 5. How can you walk
Yeah,
that?
she's running that fast, and then she's able to stop the missile somehow.
Yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah.
but it was a really fun episode.
It was, though.
I
It was,
love
though.
these characters. I think it was so much fun. But yeah, the ecchi stuff, it kind of pulled me out of it because she wets herself to try to
Mm.
shield herself from the fire, if you will. But then there's a shot of her bending over, getting ready to start running, and the camera is just perfectly on her ass, and it's
I was about to say that.
wet,
It was
and I'm like,
literally on her.
you could have taken that out. But the episode's really fun. I am also still watching No Guns Life. No Guns Life is just getting better and better with every single episode. I can't wait to see the next episode. As far as reading, because I'm caught up on everything that I want to be caught up on right now, besides My Hero, I'm actually rereading Blood Lad. I love Blood Lad. It's just so much fun. But that's about it.
I just love how James reads other stuff and rereads other stuff, but instead of catching up on My Hero, though.
I know.
I'm like, just catch up My Hero so we can all talk
He
about
doesn't.
it.
He doesn't want it to end, and I understand because once you're caught up, you're caught up. You know,
Yes,
some of those things.
That's
Some of those
how I
things.
feel about Fire Force and Vinland Saga right now. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I need more, and I don't have anything.
But
Because I'm
catch up
literally
on My
at
Hero.
that.
Catch up on
I know,
I'm
I
at
will,
that with
I will.
my hero. Literally. Oh my god! I have to wait 2 weeks. I don't know if I can do this. It's something else. I love it though. But for me, let's see. One Piece. I started watching that again. I started watching it. It's great. I'm having a good time watching One Piece. Let's see. As far as reading, of course, My Hero. Still reading One Piece as well as watching it because it's just I don't know why it's just easy to throw on when I'm like doing other stuff and I've read it. So I'm like, oh, I've already watched this. Well, I've already read this, so I can watch it. It's fine. And then Jujutsu Kaisen. Also reading that. I need you to start it.
John Ray, about the manga My Hero, without going too detailed, how do you feel about this 1 week progression they did? Because a lot of people was very sour with it of how he learned his non-spoilers. So I'm trying to go very non-spoiler.
This is it's the dire situation power up is what I'll call it.
Thank you. That's what
That's the way anime works.
That's
Anime and manga works.
That's what we said. That is the perfect.
And
situation.
I'll tell you right now. People didn't complain about it in the villain arc, so why complain about it now?
Agreed, because that's something that I was very happy about. That this is a perfect situation for them to surpass what he said, surpass me within it, and it was perfect because he struggled, so they could actually surpass him. So I was very happy to hear your thoughts about that because a lot of people complain about it.
I mean, people complain about everything. But you know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, this is what I expected. I think my expectations are in check, and I still love it. So it's worth it. So
You know what I'm
James,
afraid of?
catch up. What are you afraid
You know what
of?
I'm afraid of? Once we get to a certain fight in this overhaul arc, I'm afraid that people are gonna think when a certain thing happens that it's gonna be a cop out for a certain hero to yeah. If you do you know what I mean? I'm trying not
Yeah.
I'm
Are
trying
you
to
talking
avoid
about
things.
him repeating like that scene?
Yes,
repeating?
yes.
But it's
I
makes sense,
really
though.
hope people it does make sense, but I have a fear that people
It
are gonna
doesn't-
say that it's a
But
cop out.
it won't make sense until like a few episodes after, to be completely honest.
When they
If not one
explain-
episode after.
when
When
they
they
explain
explain
her-
why it happened, how it happened. Yes. Don't
And-
say nothing else. But yeah, when they explain how it worked, that's when people will be like, oh, okay. But yeah, I see that.
True.
Yeah. Because it's like, why can't he do that all the time? Well,
That's what I'm afraid of.
He can
It's like, well, why can't he just do it all the time? He just did it then. I'm like, dude, are you even paying attention? Like,
Yeah, I understand
that's-
that. I
that's
get
very
it.
True.
but yeah, no, My Hero's awesome. My Hero's been great.
And how far are you in Jujutsu Kaisen?
10?
Did you? Oh, you passed the chapter after me. You are entering the third arc now. Jujutsu Kaisen. Nice. Did you ever read the prequel I sent you?
Nope. But I have been reading Heroes, by the way.
Oh.
The other one you sent me. I'm on chapter
7.
What? No, I'm not on 7. I just hit 6.
Oh,
So-
so you just finished 6.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In chapter 7, there's more tentacles, so no worries.
Mm.
He like, yeah.
But no, that's a lot of fun. Like, it's so much fun. You know, we've talked a lot of shit about fairy tale. But no, this is so much fun. This is like actually him at some of his best, which is awesome. So more, please. But yeah, I think that's it for me. I think so.
I did not know that Jujutsu Kaisen had so many chapters already.
I highly
Mhm.
recommend it for you guys to read it, and also Chainsaw Man. Those are two that are going to be big next year. And also Act Age is another big one in beautiful art style. I think yeah, what really love Act Age is an actress that dives into her persona of her role. So if a role is supposed to say act like you're getting chased by a wild bear, she will feel the tension and fear of getting chased by a wild bear. It shows the art is beautiful, the color pages are beautiful. Highly suggest for you to read Act Age. Is I've only read 10 chapters, but highly suggest it for anybody to read it because it's really beautiful. It's one of the mangas that's very popular and that will get an anime by 2021. That's my guess, my theory.
Okay.
Okay, my turn for what I'm watching. The usual. High School Prodigies, of course. Gundam Build Diver Re, of course. Since the bookworm, I am not caught up. I'm one episode behind, and tomorrow's like a new episode for it. True Cooking Boy. I actually really like that. I've been watching it weekly, and I forgot to mention it. I actually really do like it. I'm not continuing with Food Wars because I know where it ends, and it's not a great end. So I might as well watch the True Cooking Boy because that's literally like an old school Chinese anime, and they just brought it back. Like it's like their sequel, but right now they're going to go into like a recap of what the first series used to be, where how he became the master of cooking, the youngest cooking master in the world. A lot of like Chinese like cooking in a way with their ingredients and how it's been made. And this boy's a genius, and because he learned from his mom, who was the other genius, and everything that she put in her book, he reads it and he figured out, okay, I could do it this way, I could do it that way, and he's very creative, and the food looks very good and delicious. It may not have the Food Wars etchy of, oh my god, I ate this, oh my god, my clothes fell off. No, it's not that kind of anime. Yeah, but it's still very entertaining. I'm enjoying it. So True Cooking Boy, one of the animes I'm watching. Mangas, there's way too many I can even mention. Domestic Girlfriend has been pretty decent lately. Heroes, it's been good. Ray's gonna enjoy this next chapter of chapter 7 for sure. Eden Zero, fantastic as always, because that's very good stuff. Um, Seven Deadly Sins, apparently it's getting another arc.
Okay, let's see how it goes. As long as King Arthur and other stuff, I'm all for it. Let's see what happens.
You guys sound tired. That sounds like a bad relationship.
Well, like because of this next arc, there's already right. I guess 7 Deadly Sins is getting a season 4, and then, but we can't do anything about the animation. And James would tell us how bad the animation still, but enjoy it while the story is still good. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna tell you, James. Just enjoy it while the story is still good.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's getting me through because the story is good. I'm locked into the story. It's just some of that animation, dude. I just can't.
Because the problem is that like all the readers have gone this far into the journey, and then you can add another arc. Basically, everybody's gonna read this last arc because we've been through this far journey. We might as well see how it ends. But we should have ended like this year in the summer, and now you literally torching us to go for another arc in this crazy roller coaster that's gonna end next year. So I'm kind of disappointed in 7 Deadly Sins right now. We'll read it. Me and Miguel will react to it and review it, but we might not always enjoy most of it. So we'll see what happens. I think that's kind of it. I've been reading a lot of mangas. I've been catching up. Haven't been updating on my anime list until like literally like 2-3 days afterwards, but I am still constantly reading. But yeah, that's really it on my manga readings. All right, guys, let's head straight to our news. Universal Studios Japan unveils its visual for Super Nintendo World area.
Well, now I have another reason to go to Japan.
I was just about to say what James just said just now. Every time we hear something about Japan, this, Japan, that, can I just live in Japan? That's all. I mean, I just learn Japanese, just live there, and just, I'm sorry, but the only person I just bring is my dog and my girlfriend, and maybe my mom, maybe just bring her, and let's just live in Japan in a nice place, learn Japanese, and just be with everything that's anime like, and live happily without this nice society of USA that we have here. Because
I mean, it's a lot different from like the anime world. It's a different culture, a different environment,
oh,
a
definitely
different.
true. Because
It's
there's no
really different,
there
actually.
is no clothes ripping off like food war, sadly. So it feels like that. I would have been there in a heartbeat. Like, oh, just eat food and it's just clothes rip off. Hell yeah, I would definitely move to Japan a long time ago. But
So
definitely,
you're saying that when I get off the plane, I won't just have a harem waiting for me?
I would,
Anything is possible.
I would love to have that. That'd be just
And you mean to tell me that Dual City won't be ready for me to become a champion when I get there? There just won't be a dual disc waiting for me when I get off the plane? Okay.
And you're saying that I cannot catch them all?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you don't have to be in Japan to catch them all.
That's true.
that's very true.
That's
Very
true.
true.
That's why I
But,
gotta go
yeah, no.
to the Kanto region and Johor region.
Let's go to Japan because I want to go to Super Mario World. Super Mario World. You know, I love Harry Potter, but Super Mario World, Harry Potter World. I gotta go to Super Mario World.
But how much more space does Japan have? It's such a little place, and every time I hear something about that, there's a tsunami. There's this like they be making so much stuff over there, and USA is doing nothing like this. Like it's just all Universal, Disney World, and Six Flags. That's all that's big and known about here. That's it. But Japan has so much properties that they be making more stuff, more parks. I'm like, what else can y'all build that for us to go to?
So you guys might not know, but is this an addition or are they removing an attraction and replacing it with Super Nintendo World?
I think it's an addition.
It's an addition.
Actually, yeah,
Okay.
it's like Universal, not Disney World when they add a new section to their park kind of thing.
From
Yeah,
what-
because Guardians at Disney used to be
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is just a new addition. They just added a new parts of the world and then put in the new Super Nintendo world. It's gonna open in spring 2020, a month like one season before the Summer Olympics. But I think it's a great tourist attraction, even more bigger tourist attraction, especially when the Olympics comes in. Hey, you're not
Japan
too-
gonna make a lot of money in tourism in 2020.
Ooh,
They're about to make
ooh.
so much money.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I wish it was open before because Miguel might be going to Japan next year. Maybe.
Nice, dude.
Maybe.
Uh,
Depends if money is correct, then maybe.
I am going to Japan next year.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
going for
when are you going?
I'm going for Christmas next year.
Oh,
I'm going
Nice,
to
good
Japan.
season.
wrong time to
Mhm.
go, so I'm not going around there. I'm
Oh,
going-
my bad. I'm so sorry. I did not coordinate this trip around Miguel.
We should have gone together. You know, we should have coordinated our
I
roles and calendars
know.
together. You know, put the things together. We should.
It would have been our Shonen bromance. I know.
We should have brought Sam and James too, like the whole anime lady team got together, and
That
wear
would be
and
awesome.
plus to wear matching bracelets too.
But I'm going for Christmas next year.
Oh, dope.
That's the dream.
That would be cool. Wait, for the month or for like the week?
No, just for like the Christmas holiday.
That's
Ah,
pretty nice.
okay.
That's pretty.
Because
Nice.
I know like Japan does their holidays big, like with
Mhm.
Halloween, Christmas, of course, New Year's, their Sakura festivals in the spring. Oh man, it's really nice. I definitely would want to go to Japan.
It's gonna be lit. Can't
The
wait.
thing is like when you go to like during the holiday stuff, it always gets very crowded because tourists and gets really huge.
I hear it's always crowded. So yeah.
Yeah, that's always true. Moving on, Demon Slayer is Shoei's second highest selling manga, one after One Piece in 2019.
Hey, I gotta give applause to Demon
Well
Slayer.
done, Demon
I gotta
Slayer.
give applause to Demon Slayer. They have done amazing jobs. I got 2 of their mangas from Anime NYC this past month. Congrats to them. But One Piece is freaking GOAT for 13 goddamn years. It's crazy how they're on top for 13 years. They will not leave. They will not leave their top rank of sales until a year after One Piece has ended in the manga. That's when it will actually fall off the ranks. Maybe 2 years. I would say least. But damn.
I mean,
I was thinking 3 or 4 because I mean when it ends, that's usually when a lot more people join in.
like they finally pick it up because they're like, oh, it's ending, and pick it up, and so yeah. But I'm just like, well, if if it turns out the One Piece is trash, maybe it dies.
Well, like we did cover last week, it's coming up soon to know, and I have to give props to Demon Slayer because the only 3 things that were close to beating, 4 mangas that were closest was Demon Slayer, My Hero, Attack on Titan, and also Kingdom. So, and Demon Slayer was one of the closest, just like Attack on Titan. So, the 2 closest that actually beat it was Attack on Titan, I think in 2016, if I'm correct. I saw the numbers yesterday.
I think Attack on Titan should be number 1, but
then again, I feel like this
but-
is Demon Slayer's either last chance or next year might be a last chance because it's in its final
Yeah.
arc. So like once next year, it might literally the series ends, and
Possibly.
however leftover sales that it's gonna have for the next following year, it might not surpass One Piece where it's still currently going for its sales right now.
But
I mean, for it to get where it has been, though, I think people need to understand it's a humongous feat because
It is
One
a big
Piece has been
of course.
unstoppable.
oh yeah,
literally.
definitely.
And so for anything to get up there but it couldn't have happened to a better story, to be completely honest with you. So
Of
I mean,
course.
I think it's awesome.
For people to know this, Demon Slayer sales that's been out, it has surpassed the sales of My Hero Academia and it's been out longer. That's for you to know that it has made 25 million copies, much more than My Hero, and My Hero has made only 23 million copies, and 5 million copies before the anime came out. So within the 2 seasons of anime airing, and then this current season that's about the end of the year, it has made 25 million in total. So it surpassed many mangas within less than a year. That's crazy amount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, and this is a prime example of when you have a prime anime adaptation do well, it will boost your sales for the manga. It
Mhm.
will.
Oh yeah.
Because
and it works
this anime
wonders.
is phenomenal, and my son Tanjiro puts in that work, so it's all good.
Sadly, Black Clover could have been there, but you know.
Sorry.
Oof. Too bad. But yeah, like I don't know if any other mangas that's gonna surpass One Piece yearly manga sales, because that's another big feat to even
So
surpass.
So I'll tell you this: One Piece has made 460 million copies sold with 95
Jesus.
volumes. However, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba has made 25 million copies sold, 18 volumes, with My Hero Academia with 24 million copies with 24 volumes, and Black Clover 22 volumes and 9 million sold, and Dr. Stone, for some reason they haven't updated, so this was released in July with Dr. Stone hasn't been released with the updated, but only 2 million sold with only 11 copies. So for My Hero to get outsold by Demon Slayer within a year, that's a crazy amount sold. So I really want to get those exact numbers. And
Again, it's the anime. The anime gave them that kind of sales, of course. And now it's only going to keep on getting higher and higher because with the movie that's coming out, and then season 2, and then maybe more movies or progression of more seasons. It's definitely thanks to the studio that worked the Demon Slayer anime, and it can only grow even more from there. So, but we'll have to see because Demon Slayer is ending, and would gladly rather have the author completed the series without having to be rushed or being feared of being axed or anything like that. If she were to give it a proper ending, give it the proper ending, and you can now rely on the animation studio that does your anime to give you even more of the sales. Maybe even like it quadrupled from 5 million to 20 million. It quadrupled.
Oh, definitely.
So hopefully, if it continues, if it's gonna keep on doing in that rate, it could at least push up to maybe 50 million in the next following year to the 100 million, because that's how incredibly popular it's gonna get even more into their sales. So they know what to do. Okay, let's move on to the next following news. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is getting another OVA. This OVA is going to be a 3-parter. It's going to come out in January in Japan, and the next 2 episodes in their Blu-ray disc for first volume.
What's funny, I still haven't seen the first OVA that came out back in July, so I still need to watch the first OVA of Slime that came out back in July. Then definitely need to watch this one because Slime is definitely a great secret that I watch on my own time. Sadly, that me and Sam did not react to because it's definitely something that I wish we did because it was such an enjoyable series to watch. Slime is just so enjoyable. I'm holding out to read the manga. I don't feel like I need
I'm
to.
still reading it. I like it.
But
It's
definitely-
good.
Yeah,
I didn't finish the anime, so I also need to catch up.
Oh,
So
you didn't?
nope, didn't finish it.
You can watch until episode 23 because 24 and 25 is just a recap.
Okay.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like they kind of rushed it a little bit towards the end because they could have just stretched out the information, the story about the kids and everything like that. But they kind of rushed that part and spent the last 2 episodes as their recap episodes.
Yep.
And I don't know why they did that. They could have just increased the story more into it. So James, what are your thoughts about the new OVA of Slime? Because I know you love that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah, any content that I can get, I'm gonna take it. This was an anime that I just saw on Crunchyroll. I'm like, oh well, this looks interesting. It's an isekai anime. I'll check it out. And then it turned out to be absolutely incredible from beginning to end. Any footage that I can get, I'm gonna take it. The manga's really good too. It's really engaging. I actually am reading like the little side stories. I don't usually read the side stories of a lot of different manga, but I read the side stories for this. It's all great, and I just can't wait.
Are you caught up with the manga though?
Not yet.
Oof, because I kind of like how where they're going right now. Play all the good feel good slice of life happy stars because once the next season comes in, it's all dark from there. It gets
if I didn't start reading Vinland Saga, I would have been caught up.
Oh, you could have caught up on My Hero too.
I was just gonna say the same thing. I was just gonna say that too.
Got him.
Okay, guys, let's move on to our next news. Jujutsu Kaisen's TV anime will be produced by TOHO in 2020. So props, guys. It's not gonna be Studio Period.
Oh, thank God. Honestly, as much as I love Black Clover manga, me reacting to the anime today for episode 110, 111. Period, we appreciate what you did for Bleach and Naruto. We appreciate what you have done for it for our childhood. But do not
believe it.
Do not adapt too many series because you're doing Boruto, you're doing Black Clover at the same time, and it's just not consistent story animation. And keep your freaking Black Clover in a seasonal, not in a long series. And thank you for staying away from Jujutsu Kaisen because it deserves a great anime adaptation like it did from Toho. I hope it's not Bones though. That's my opinion. I hope it's IG or Trigger or any other studio that's not Bones. With no disrespect to Bones, it's just that I feel like it doesn't need the My Hero treatment type of look. It needs more of a IG or A1 Pictures type of animation style that they have. So I like their style. So that's my hope for it. But I'm happy for it. And it's 2020. So my assumption, if it wants to be a hitter, 2020 summer, if it wants to be a nice hitter, or spring. But if not, take your time in the fall. That's what I would say.
Ray, so I know you also read Jujutsu Kaisen as well.
This is great news. It needs to come out swinging, and it needs to come out because I feel like I'm worried that there is this silent hype. You know, everything has a certain amount of hype, but this one feels like the first one that could potentially be like overhyped coming out, and then people are like let down, and I'm like, let's not do that to this one because I mean, this is truly something. I mean, you know, Demon Slayer is different, but it's a similar formula that we've seen. This is different. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. It's a little wacky, but it's good. And so I'm worried that people are going to
gruesome.
That cover is gorgeous.
I wouldn't say gruesome. It's weird, you know, and I like that.
Yeah, okay.
So I hope that people have their expectations kind of set and that it's different, but ultimately it takes some time to build up to. So
from a person who hasn't read or know the plot of Jujutsu Kaisen, from the animation a little bit towards the dark side in a way, I think production IG sounds like a good place to have for producing it. For Bones, there's nothing wrong with Bones. They do a pretty good, decent job on their own side, like, and so does production IG. They have good ways. Studio Trigger would just be literally far off the long end. We have unexpected to have that animation studio to work on this, but I feel Production IG would be a good place to put into the dark kind of shonen where it looks a little gruesome from its title with the blood and the whole eating fingers and all that stuff like that. But for sure, I think that's the best studio to have it fit. As long as it's not Studio Period, of course, any other choice would have been perfect. It's
Definitely
just
prefer.
fine. So that's the good news of it. James, your thoughts?
I'm really excited for this. I don't know much about it, honestly. Not more than he's like an exorcist, pretty much. But I'm really interested. It looks right up my alley. So I actually want to pick up. Can I buy the first volume in stores anywhere?
It's not until
Pre-order, it comes out
January?
actually, no, December 12th.
Yeah.
December 12th it comes out.
Okay, so I'll just read it on Viz until then. But I really want to check it out. You guys have been talking about it, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
I would say it's very
This is
similar.
Shonen. I'm pretty sure it's in Shonen Jump.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely the next Bleach. If you want to go with hollow supernatural aspect, is very so much like it. I know that Ray could back me up with the aspect of how it very is much like that. Verse right now has all current chapters until chapter 16, and then it skips to chapter 40. But they will have chapter 17 to 39 January 18th. The translator said so they will have it by then.
Okay, cool. Well, I might first read the prequel first.
Yes, how do you suggest to read
I'll
the
read the
prequel
prequel
first?
first,
It's very
and then-
helpful to understand the world, and then to jump into the series is very helpful and beneficial.
Cool. Moving on, Shonen Jump is putting out a new series called Zipman by Yusuke Shibata and Gravity Boys.
I'm
But
pretty curious about that. Because we have a mecha in it, and we also have cops in the other series. So I'm really curious about the aspect of these two new series. And I'm pretty sad for Tokyo Shinobi Striker to get Axe and a couple others, but the only one that we have brought up before. But I'm pretty curious for Zipman, the design, because Zipman, the creator, was an assistant for the Goda, and also for our main guy, My Hero Academia Hiroshi. So he was an assistant for both of these creators. So I'm really curious to see what can he do. And I like the character that he had designed with the whole yellow hair and everything. So I'm really curious about that. I mean,
It looks like
great.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Well, his head does.
Oh yeah.
And the body looks like Fat Gum, but a younger, smaller body kind of student face. In a way.
What I said. So for just reading the premise of this, it sounds like Metabots, very slightly,
That is
and
what
I
he did say in the
love
chat.
Metabots, and so that's a good thing. And I hope that's exactly what it is. Honestly, I hope it's more Metabots. I want that real bad.
I mean, it has been a while since we have another Metabots or
Mhm.
something similar like it.
I would love something similar to Metabots at this point.
And
Seriously.
it's sad to have so many pretty young series that's getting axed, but you know, if they aren't able to make up the sales in their market, move on to the next work.
And
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I guess
work.
I want to know what the
Continue
criteria
recovering.
is. Like, what gets you cut is, I guess, I would like to know.
Mhm.
I think
in that
that
space.
their first two volumes in Japan has to make at least 10 million, or no, each volume. Because Samurai 8 is doing very poorly in the first two volumes, but the only reason it's not getting axed because obviously it's done by Kishimoto, so that's the only reason it's not getting axed yet. But for a series to do good, is sales by volumes first in the Japan. Then it depends how it gets translated to the US, and then it depends on those volumes. If the first two volumes do very poorly and it's not getting received well, is when it gets axed. So most series gets axed between the 20th chapter to the 30th chapter, meaning that is during the third volume. So that's when that's when Shueisha decides if they get axed or not.
Okay.
Okay, not bad. But yeah, there's always gonna be a lot more new series that's coming out for Shonen Jump, and can't wait to check it out to see what else is interesting. Who will be the next My Hero Academia? Who will literally be the next One Piece. Who knows? We never know. Sometimes it could be. Sometimes we can never expect these younger new series to be unexpected.
But-
Even Demon Slayer got up to the second place with One Piece, so we
But-
never know. Anything could be happen for any one
I
of
would
these
say
mangas.
that is a nice comparison, Sam, because both of those titles, One Piece My Hero, he was an assistant by those creators. So I'm really curious to see what type of resemblance are we gonna get. Are we gonna get some type of hero society or some type of world travel? Or I'm really curious to see what type of resemblance are we gonna get from those two series that he helped on, or some type of assistant editor was on. So I'm really curious to see what type of resemblance are we gonna get about it.
Yeah, I have to say I really like the character designs, so I'll be watching it whenever it comes out.
Yep, I feel that.
All right, guys. So last final news: the Promare Anime Fields is going to have an additional 4DX dub screening in the U.S. Well, so me and Miguel have watched this movie, and James and Ray, we want you guys to watch this movie as well. So for Sunday, December 8th, it's gonna be in Japanese sub. Tuesday, December 10th, is gonna be English dub, and then Wednesday, December 11th, is gonna have a 4DX English dub version of
And
it.
guys, by the way, Sam does not work for G Kids. He's not promoting the movie. He's just promoting the film to James and Ray himself, because he really wants them to watch the film, and he's been doing this since September, since we watched it. When it came out here in the States, and again, he's promoting it not for G Kids, just for them, for his friends, for his teammates to watch it. So they need
I will be watching it in 4DX. I will be watching it. 4DX is an
yeah.
experience. It's not my favorite theater experience, but it's an experience. It's a lot of fun, and I've never seen an anime in 4DX, so I will be watching it in 4DX.
Ray?
That doesn't exist where I live, so yeah.
Oh damn!
Damn. Would you still be able to watch it like regularly? And,
Yeah, if it's close, like if it's here, if it's literally in my city, I will go watch it.
I
But that's
think it
only if
should.
it's here.
Yeah, because it's like it became like when they extended added extra dates, they made it more nationwide around the U.S.
Well,
So
hopefully you guys could to make a little boy, young Sam, be proud and happy that you watch his film that he's been promoting for months and weeks for you guys to watch a high acid film like this.
it should hit all your favorite agendas: mecha, good action,
And very colorful
cra-
fire.
yeah,
That's
colorful
what I'm about.
fire. Yeah, that's
Did
all
all the
about
right
this
things.
anime. It's all about. But yeah, you guys need to check it out so that we can do an anime review. We can put this on the podcast, and I want to know you guys' thoughts. All right, guys, let's head. This is the end of our podcast, guys. Can you give us a quick recap of where our lovely listeners can find you guys?
Yeah, you guys can follow me. The easiest way to follow me is at carefulforspoilers.com. You can find links to all of the podcasts on the Careful for Spoilers podcast network. You can find links to all of our social media, our Patreon, and pretty much everything we got going on.
Right?
Oh yes. Well, yeah, I'm very easy to find. If you do Rayapollo, no space, Rayapollo, you'll find me. Put me into Google. You'll find me. Trust me. Put me in the YouTube. You'll find me. But I need you to put me in Twitch. Go follow the channel. We're playing Pokemon. We're having a good time. I need you to do that.
And that's why you gotta catch them all, because you can find these type of fine gentlemen here. You can find them anywhere, and you can find me at Legendy Vash as social media anywhere. Literally, that's my name everywhere. Legendy Vash. Other than that, see you guys next time.
So you guys find me on Sam the Mega Man. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Peace.